So the activity level here has certainly increased. We can hear it in the volume of the room. This is your multi-purpose room. What's going on here now?
It is. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays is our busiest lunch days. We have lunch Monday through Friday, but those are our peak days. So right now what you're seeing is the group here that's participating in the congregate lunch program. We are the host to the YWCA. So the YWCA makes the meals. They bring them over on their truck, and then they supply staff to register people for the YWCA program. The YWCA lunch program serves people 65 years or older, or people that are disabled, for a suggested contribution of $2.50. When I go buy my lunch, it's $3.50, but the suggested contribution for those two populations is $2.50.
Okay. And the YWCA, they do the Meals on Wheels program for homebound, but then they also support and put on this program as the congregate lunch program for seniors and disabled who can come out and enjoy the fellowship of having a meal with everyone else.
Yes, here and at the community center, both. They do the both, yes.
Good. Now, multi-purpose, I noticed that there's a stage behind us, and this room is available for rent for people to use?
It is. It's available on most weekends and evenings. We have a lot of community members come, and the most popular thing, what I would say, would be quinceañeras, then weddings, receptions, gatherings, just community gatherings. So sometimes there's very large meetings held here. What we have that I put on here is we have 5 special events a year. Those are related to the holidays. So the next one that we'll have is our Halloween luncheon, and we will have a large majority of the people coming to that dressed up in costume, and we have a costume contest. YWCA provides a wonderful meal for it, and so we sell tickets for that up at our front desk.
Then after that is Thanksgiving. Will you have Thanksgiving here?
And yes, we do, and that won't be a ticketed event. What we do is we have a Thanksgiving luncheon the Friday before Thanksgiving, and the reason that we do that is that it's not really our population, but a small number of our people. This would be the only Thanksgiving gathering that they attend because of their family being in other areas of the country. So what we want to do is make it a very happy, fun time, and again, meet the needs of some of those that may not have other things to do on that Thanksgiving holiday.
And I really like the way that we celebrate the holidays here. I was here last year for St. Patrick's Day, and corned beef and cabbage and entertainment and all. It was a terrific time. People were having a lot of fun.
They were, yes. The YWCA prepares a wonderful meal. We couldn't have this meal outside of the center for the price that we do, because we have the entertainment, we have the snacks, we have the wonderful meal, we have the decorations, a lot of added value, and plus we have the social connection.
So it really does live up to its name of being a multi-purpose room.
It does.
Not only for the programs you put on, but also for the community at large to be able to rent it and to hold their programs or their family events or whatever they would like.
It's a great value for the community, and it's a wonderful space, and they take advantage of it, and we're booked very often, yes.
Well, great, thanks. So Anthony, this looks like a room with many purposes too. What all goes on in here?
It sure is. This is the Lapidary, silversmithing, and fixit shop.
So it looked today like we had people working with jewelry, so I assume that's the silversmithing going on.
Yes, Lydia's here. She's one of the leaders, and she came to us some time ago and said, you know, I have an interest in silversmithing. You have some room open during times when there isn't any lapidary, and so then we have silversmithing.
That's great.
They meet twice a week.
Mm-hmm. And what days do they meet?
They meet Mondays and Fridays.
Excellent. And then you mentioned lapidary. Now, a lot of people may not know what lapidary actually is. Can you explain that?
Well, right in your hand you have a rock, and it has been collected from somewhere around Arizona and many times. And what they do is these rock collectors come and they bring this rock and they shape it, cut it, and it will become some form of art.
So a rock that you might just see on the ground walking around the desert, it's pretty enough. But when you cut it and polish it, then you can turn it into a work of art by revealing its inner beauty as well. And it can be in jewelry, or this could be a bookend or a doorstop, or it can be turned into sculpture or any of that. And we have the ability here to help people to do that.
And the ability comes in, or the skill level comes in from the actual people that are doing it now. What they do is they mentor anybody that is interested in learning this skill. So what they're doing again is socially connecting with people that have a similar interest. They give up some of their time to work on their projects to help people develop an interest, and then their hope is that that person will again do the same thing for new people to come in. Very welcoming group.
Yeah, so you're learning from your peers, and even if you are familiar with maybe only the basics or not at all, you can get started at that level. If you had experienced tumbling rocks like obsidian or Apache tears that then you later turned into jewelry or something like that, you can do that here as well.
You can, yes, you can.
But we also have the saws and the polishing equipment to take something up to this level and beyond.
We do, and the volunteers that help you do it safely.
Yes. Now, the Fix-It shop, tell me about that. That was the third thing you said goes on here.
Yes. Well, the Fix-It shop is a group of gentlemen that came from the old center. We were in downtown Glendale 20 years before we came over to this part of town, and they came with us, and they're a group of gentlemen, and most of them are retired. They use their skills to fix appliances. Many times it's one of those older appliances, those things that you got back in time that are built really heavy and may only have a minor repair needed, and they want to keep those things out of the landfill, and they know that you can never buy something similar of the same quality, the same material, the same hardiness that some of those old appliances would have had. They don't fix TVs or things like that, but again, if you have anything like a lamp, or again, I was mentioning those appliances that you got back in the day, or any other kinds of small things, and that's their skill level. What they'll do is they'll look for the repair cost of the replacement part, give you the option to move forward or not, and then they make it available.
So it could be anything from a good old toaster, a good heavy toaster that you've had for years and you want to be able to keep, to a lamp that needs a new plug or a new socket. Could be a radio perhaps that just needs a little soldering done to extend its life for a longer period of time, and these gentlemen know how to do that sort
All
of
of
thing.
that, yes, all of those
And if they need parts, they know how to order parts and charge you simply for the part.
Simply for the part, and if you want to make a donation to the group, that's fine.
Donation for their supplies and all of that.
Yes.
Well, again, another room here at the center that is heavily used and in a number of different ways, and that's really the value of what we're doing here at our adult center. Well, you know, Anthony, it wouldn't be an adult center if it didn't have shuffleboard, would it?
No, it wouldn't. And this is our tabletop shuffleboard. Very popular.
Well, I'm not near what I used to be in college,
Great.
but I've spent a little bit of time in my undergraduate days, not only with shuffleboard, but also with pool. I see we've got 4 pool tables here, billiards tables. And
Yes, they like billiards. What we do is, it was again another activity that we had at the old center. One of the benefits that they received when we did open the new center and come here was that all the tables were brand new. And what we do is we pick 1 table a year and we refelt them, and as you can see, we have a lot of play going on here. One of the benefits of coming to play billiards at the Glendale Adult Center is that you don't have to pay an additional fee. So this comes under your membership, and you don't have to deal with a smoking or drinking environment.
Right.
And we do have a lot of people that wind up being in here every day.
And you do free play like this, but you also have organized tournaments and that as well, right?
Yes, the members really enjoy having a tournament intermittently. So one of the group leaders just came to me and asked for some funds so that they could get their trophy for the end of the year tournament.
Well, there's nothing wrong with a little healthy competition. And
As long as they're not using money.
yeah, as long as they keep the money in their pocket.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then right across the way we have the fitness center, right?
Yes, we do. We have been fortunate enough to add a second room to our fitness center, but we have, believe it or not, people lined up in the morning, usually about 10 to 12, ready to come in here and get their workout done. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays is the most popular days to do that because that just lends itself to people's schedules. So one of the things that we are glad to do is anybody that wants or has an interest in using any of that equipment can come into the front desk and ask for an orientation. So we have an instructor that will come, show them how to go through the equipment and use it safely, and maybe give them a little pointers about how they want to change the routine.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that's really one of the themes about this whole adult center. It's for people of all levels of skill and ability. So if you're a beginner, you can come and start at the very beginning, be oriented by staff on equipment like in the fitness area, or be mentored by people in Lapidary and the fixit shop and other areas. So you don't have to have a background in any of this stuff. You just have to have an interest in it and come on down.
That's correct. We are fortunate enough that I have 80 registered volunteers.
And volunteering is a big thing here in Glendale. We have a lot of volunteers, and this in fact is in the multi-purpose room is where we had recently had our volunteer appreciation luncheon.
It did.
Had well over 125 volunteers that turned out
And
for
many
that.
of them were from
Many
volunteers
were
from the
right
Glendale
here.
Adult Center. Yes, they were.
That's great.
This is good. I'm going to bid on that.
Okay. So Anthony, we're back to where we started. We've made a full circle of the building here, and we've seen just any number of things that are available inside the walls of this facility. But one of the things that really struck me is that here at the Adult Center, not only have activities inside, but outside as well. You have a tour program in which people can sign up and for a nominal fee can join a tour going to any number of places across the state and even, throughout the West.
Yes, we have a relationship with a company called Especially For You Tours, and the owner actually comes every Tuesday morning, and she has a variety of tours predominantly around the state.
So they would just come here and look at what's available and sign up and pay their fee.
They could come here and speak directly to the owner of the company, or she buys an ad in our newsletter, which helps us to produce it. And so her number is available, Especially For You Tours is available on our newsletter.
And I noticed the newsletters are also right over here on the counter if they just want to walk in the door and grab one.
They sure are, yes.
And as far as getting here, now if they don't drive themselves, the Gus bus and Dial-A-Ride could also bring them here, is that correct?
Yes, 98% of our people drive themselves, but the ones that may not have transportation as far as their own vehicles are welcome to use Dial-A-Ride. If they live in the city of Glendale, they can call Dial-A-Ride, and if they live outside of Glendale, then they can make arrangements for their ride and transfers. Also, we are on the Gus route.
The Adult Center here that we have now is certainly a long way from the one that we had when I was a young man. It was on Glen Drive right across from the Women's Club downtown. And it was a great facility for its time. But really, this is a remarkable facility that we have now. And I just really wish that all of our residents, I want them to be aware of it and come and make use of it.
Well, that's our invitation. We want them to come and we want them to see what the center has to offer and give it a couple of tries.
I'm sure if they do, that they'll become longtime members, and there's just so much here to enjoy. Anthony, I want to thank you for giving us this tour of your amazing facility.
We really appreciate you being here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I want to thank you too for watching. I'm Glendale City Councilmember Bart Turner. We'll see you next time on Glendale Today.